TV was off. Okay, so, but I knew you and I had session, said we were doing it remotely, and so, let me just turn it on. I was already sleeping on, and so,
I texted you guys, let them know it was running.
Well, yeah,
I'm not gonna get it.
so he thinks that he's gonna go home. But it's just- And so, we got police going, and it's the remote, and they're looking. There's no money.
I said, well, there's.
So I did that, so I did that. See to look at, taking on, I can see them, they're moving to line. And checking my head tanks. Shoot. You right.
Yeah. I had it close for him, last year, this morning.
Yeah. And because she threw me saying I was on.
Yeah.
Stop.
And I think it's on 5 minutes before.
It's, yeah, I was just like, he's happy, you know, and I said, it's on. But he had disappeared, and I didn't know where he had gone, and I was just like. And what? I just.
Sometimes he uses phone.
Yeah. I just like, I just like, when I went back in, I was like, I think it's fine, I had a whole conversation. I just didn't know who kept the vote. I said, so I knew he was gonna do his thing, or I think I was gonna do his, he said. It was one day that was gonna be off. And I said, and then they went from 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock.
It's the same thing, I don't know.
You
At work. So.
You know, some days I think most of work from. It's
Spell movie, I think it's something. Yeah. I don't know which old thing to do. Couple weeks, I had to do that.
I'm working on paying all my stuff for election stuff, so we gotta pay for the last like 2 elections on the bill, where they build us on what the equipment and stuff. They've got to build invoicing, because some of it actually was in the contract. And so I have to approve in February. There's no need to pay 5 months. And a big chat going through there, so when they look at my budget.
I have a few of those myself.
You know, but
We haven't got to that yet.
yeah, and I'm just making sure that I've so far talked through, which has said us probably about 12,000. Every little penny counts.
I don't really need this because oops, you are good. Oh,
Those checks.
This- okay. You take this seat if you want to. Nah. Sure. Yeah. So, I think we have the, still have the funds to do that in that. Oh, we do. In the JP fund. I think we still have it.
I didn't think about that yesterday, so I didn't think about that, I just knew that we were getting radios for the towers, was all.
I'll get with them after this and see if we can go and get that one done. For in the fiscal year, because we still have. The JP security funds.
What about?
We'll roll that over next time.
So now keep that,
That's we'll have enough funds, so I'll see, definitely, I would. Here's that area.
yeah, better than, oh yeah, yeah, three, I was thinking now.
Here's the five.
Yeah.
One.
Hello. I've decided to disapprove everything.
This is.
Oh, I don't know.
Either way.
It does shorten the whole process, doesn't it?
Yeah, either way.
That's on. Yeah.
Yes, I do have those.
Oh, let's see, where's that?
I only got this the rule, but I did add, did you allow? Different, so that's really long one too.
Probably.
Hey, are you good?
Real good. Oh. Sign there, you can have E, those are the opposite, stuff. I'm gonna communication with you. I figure with the now, people from now, it'll be about 2,400, so. But if you.
Yeah, they had sent that out, but they didn't say the deposits, and then I requested somebody else Friday, they told me. That they don't change that, so they had more detail on it.
But I think that's gonna come to the one drive, and that's just something we need covered. That's-
Sorry, Bobby.
So.
We're recording, by the way.
So. They read that from. That's scheduled.
I'm good, I'm just gonna be part of
You
it.
need something that I didn't find. Well, you do need something that I didn't find out, I really put it in. Your, how do you? I put a line on, but it's, if they ever said the guess, it went good.
Okay.
So this year I've up and back and I put the color.
So we're gonna show me here and I had.
I guess you're going. Just gonna look as cool as my sheriff's office.
Where's the floor? It's gonna be.
It's got a hologram.
Brandon texted every birthday, yeah.
Okay.
I think it's. Did you ever talk to them about the right hotspots?
So I mean, well, yeah.
Yes, we're gonna have all, yes, I've got all that in my budget, except we're calling our chairs if they will come.
I'm covered it, I gotta say, as a mosquito stuff. So I have to do the contact, but I had it to the ground. It's in the project. Per topic.
Yes.
For that's all. So that's not gonna be much, but the point of hotspots, well, that can be separately, totally center that.
Yeah, we got it.
Okay. I just watched. You didn't bring that yesterday, I guess you feel like.
We did English, but now, you know, there's one more, I think, name. These are
This
the
one,
only, yeah. But we got.
Yeah. Only show that the copy was done.
Okay.
And so we can build that separate from our elections, so they get that split.
That would be good.
Let's start. The sound must be on, because it's not coming through saying it's recorded, but we are recording.
Okay.
Somebody must have muted the television. Oh, gee, Lee.
No. Brendan is gonna be running a little bit late. Apparently his cow's out. You gotta take care of. What about Mitch? Is he coming? 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
We have it in the sheriff's. Clerk's on. You. We just changed it.
Page 45 is where I found data processing. That's helpful. What?
Page 45 is where I found data processing.
Oh, thank you for help. Is that the new one?
It's the one you sent out this morning.
Okay, well, I actually just sent another one out.
That's the one you sent out early this morning.
Okay. I need a link.
You do need a one.
Yeah.
How much you need a one?
I think we need an on the air sign and a red light for the back of
Yeah.
the room.
That'd be cool, wouldn't it? Like an old radio station.
Like old radio.
David does radio stuff. We might be able to get one from him, the old bowls, the red cover and everything.
There was a radio station down near Malakoff that I think went out of business. I'll just have to go down there and see if they want to sell their old red light.
Yes, your guys will. Elimination route.
Yes, I would be. Gotta make you code those so you can share your screen. Your codes.
It's on.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. If it was off, it's got a black screen. See if I can,
Oh, there's. Go ahead.
yeah.
Here, let's see. This is out of your account, out of your budget.
Yes, it
Okay,
does.
okay, I'm meeting with them today, but this bill, this is a, well, it's been in here, got paid last year, so. We don't have that. That's just it. But we'll see.
Back over here.
And I don't know if this was Sabita or not. It has to be Sabita, wasn't it?
And then we come to that last year, then it was in sense. Was it in your budget, Scott, fire?
Fun looking. I don't remember if it was under the regular.
It wouldn't be last year, it'd be the year before.
I don't think we've had it in my budget for.
Last year, Judge, I think we did.
Budgeted for. Well, I can't remember.
No, we budgeted, it, approved it.
We did.
Still never got paid.
Right, that's, I believe that's right.
That's Scott's budget.
Yes.
It's not on my 457.
I thought it was
Is that something for Farmville?
It's for
plowing my pasture.
Yeah.
For farmers. It's the collections.
My mother,
In the
she was an expert. at Farmville.
Expert at what?
She was an expert at Farmville on Facebook. She's unbelievable.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know.
Corn, she was a corn man.
When's the last time we had it?
Not last year, but the year before.
I don't see it in 2020 either.
2020.
On my 2020 457.
It was in the collection.
It's under.
It was in the collections department until we ended it. And then, it didn't get paid that next year. And then we came back, I think, in January.
Now, I paid it then, and then you take that home and then just take it. She had some.
Okay, so we need to add that to my 1
Mhm.
I don't know what we're gonna do about the current, I don't have it in here. Who was using it in 2024? Was that district clerk?
It was under,
Who was using it last year? This.
I know that we met with the judge in his office.
Yeah.
And then, and I don't know if we were gonna split or come out that club.
We talked about splitting, we talked about splitting, and we looked at the bill and we said, okay, I'll take 3,500 and we're gonna pay 35, whatever the number was.
Yeah, it's 650.
And then it came to commissioner's court and it got approved, and because I remember getting an email from Sandy saying they approved this, and it was, wow. Well,
Think it'd be split.
I didn't check to make sure.
The 23, 25.
I just thought it got.
And we would have to have 2 line items. And what's your line item speak for?
Line,
With 2350 in it each. For that.
No, wait, no.
If y'all split it, I'll have to have one item.
Sorry about that.
but that's what we don't know.
Okay.
You don't know if you did that, and election, you were over, we didn't.
It wasn't added, but we can add it for.
Susan and I can present it in our budget, you can, yeah.
I can put it in here for 2026. I'm just trying to figure out what we're doing for 2025.
What did we do for 2025?
You said this has to be paid.
It was not,
Is it? Okay. So it was due on, no, this is an estimate.
that's last year's. That says June of 2024.
People are using it in 2025. So, okay, so this, we're only picking this up for the next one. Okay, that's fine. We can add it.
Cause I mean, I was working with Dean and he was
I
working
think it'll
with
come
me, and then all of a sudden.
Same thing with us, who's working, and actually.
I'll have to talk to Nicole or and Michelle and find out if it's gonna be under Savita or not.
Okay, I just, when I saw you were, your budget.
Yeah. No, that's a good one. So that's a lot of money.
I must pledge allegiance. Yeah, one to sign. Made it.
Yeah, all right. We're all set.
Judge, I think I'm gonna put that iPlow under Savita. I think that's probably gonna come out that way.
Mhm,
Through the software as a service.
mhm.
Sometimes how you. Do it. There's a
Right,
bunch of rules, different things. I'll have to give it to Michelle, but. I'm like 70% sure it'll be under 590, so I'm just gonna put it under 590.
okay. How much was that? 60?
5650.
5650,
Yes.
okay.
I did talk to him about some process, we didn't get what we were. We didn't get the product last year, do you think we need to round up just in case? Yeah, we'll just round that up. I had a meeting with him today.
So you thinking they can be more than the 5650?
It shouldn't be. I mean, he felt bad because he kind of dumped us. And I was just wondering why he wasn't communicating back with me. And then it dawned on me, and I said, did you get paid? And then he says back and he said, email back and he said, I don't think so.
Okay.
No wonder you're not calling me.
It's 277. On my head. Yeah, that's right. Those fast and low speed of. 274. Okay. All right, where do we want to start?
Oh, I got this up right here. I don't know if that's, what you want to start on
Uh,
there or the page before with the salaries.
I asked for a desktop support person. That's why I had put that in there. I also added a spreadsheet, so that's probably not gonna be valid.
10%. Ever the optimist.
Wishful thinking.
Abs-
Yeah.
You gotta go high. So I'd ask for desktop support, just somebody to run around and do the little things like, you know, set up PCs and stuff. Oh, some of the time consuming stuff. It's a kind of an entry level position and I put it at 60,000. So.
And that 60,000 would represent benefits and all the rest of that,
Yes.
the taxes and everything.
Oh, no, that's just base. I'm sorry. No, I just did that as base. I apologize. I should have extrapolated that. Because I was just looking at the 103. That didn't carry that down to how that's gonna affect 202, 203 and all those.
We got a lot of folks that are not entry level that are not making 60 though. Is that?
In city level. T.
Yeah.
Even a system administrator, even right now, system administrator is only making 61.
Yeah.
That's super low.
Mhm.
Application manager, that's Ron, she's just a hair a little bit over 60. Just one reason I put 10%, we are way below.
Right.
Me, everybody is, but I've got to look after my people and put that in there, hopefully get it done.
Brandon may forego going to law school. He may go to IT school. Yesterday, Brandon said he's going to be a lawyer and work for $80 an hour.
Okay.
Number 65.
All right. Personally, and when we get down to the nuts and bolts, I think all the three of the IT guys need to have $10,000. Your salary needs to be up $10,000 just to get it close, somewhere close to market. It's not any more close in that regard. So that's what I'm gonna shoot for. Then desktop support, could that be a part-time person?
Any help would be appreciated.
Any help? So I'm kind of thinking, you know, at that level, you're talking about almost an intern type person that we're gonna spend a lot of time training. So,
Turn things on, plug things in. I'm doing a lot of the little things that we don't.
We really need help with restarts. Did you restart your? No.
Password resets. Yes.
I can't work my phone.
We're not planning on this person actually having.
right,
And that would lend to that person being part-time too, because they'd be just moving around.
Mhm.
Going to the JPs, going to, doing updates, doing.
Yeah.
All things that we need done.
Okay, I just think that'll be a good start, and then, you know, as they prove themselves, possibly move it into a full-time.
Right.
But you get already a student, you know, that's going to school that, you know, may be able to do that time, so.
Just like, yeah, that's what I say, entry level.
Mhm. Okay. All right. Any other discussion on? Somebody can work on the doors on the weekend.
Exactly. All right, office supplies, we don't use a lot of office supplies. I'm believing that's 500 in there. Contract services, 402, that's, the alarm systems, and I just noticed I had left out, Road and Bridge Precinct 3 barn because it's feral alarm. I only figured
the Lone Stars, so I need to add that up to 1750 to include. Mr. Phillips' phone.
Okay. Is that just alarm services? Is that, it's not video, right? Do you pay for any video services?
Only
Security.
security library, I think,
Mm-hmm.
is where that's included.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only location where that would be included.
Okay.
402 on the 503 side includes. Because it's actually, there's actually building security side as well. Which is in here also. So on alarms, on the 503, we've got precinct 3 barn. The tax office. The DA's office, and we brought in the library. On the 510 side, which is on, we'll get to that in a minute. We have JP3, JP4, and JP1 on that part. But one we're talking about right here is precinct 3 barn, with the tax office over there, DA and library.
Scott, I have a question for you, because you're talking about cameras at the library. Is there cameras outside the library? Because when we were doing elections, we were gonna pull a video. And it looked like there's a camera outside, but not working, cameras, or they told me.
I don't remember.
But
Their cameras aren't through our system, it's through the alarm system. Eagle Security District. Yeah, it's Eagle Security.
that may be something we may need to look at if we're using for election. Pull a video of something that has all of it.
No.
You don't use that now, use that for night elections, or just
Across the road.
We use it for early.
Yeah, that's in the statute where it has to be.
Thicker than.
I don't know how much more that'll be, but
I did try to 2X.
We were thinking where everybody comes in.
you need that in the curbside area. So you need all the way in the driveway and a little bit in the back, right? That back part.
Yeah.
But a broad panoramic, you don't have to be.
Yeah, just. I would think, you know, with Robert, people
Back
are
in the day.
lying us. You can still apply.
Never one of
Years,
those cats.
you know, driving that area and then.
So when they walk up on the front of the library, is that what you're talking about, like on the entry level?
Yeah, definitely, like, on the side.
Your machines are in the mechanic room,
That's probably $9.
Yeah.
so you need the entryway and you need the curbside area.
Correct. I think those, that would be like, something that's usually right there. Where we're trying to capture.
Probably have 3 cameras, not one for the entry, but coming in, you go alongside the building, because the entry wants to even see that you're in the back or catch back working.
That one that catch the driveway, you have to catch the license plate, you need to.
Right.
So is that Michael Turner handle that? Or is it another company?
Nobody's well holding.
We should talk about probably, if we're gonna expand it a lot, maybe putting in another system instead of the Eagle system. I don't know how much theirs can take. I haven't really looked at their DVR or NVR.
5 or 6 weeks ago.
I know it's old.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty old.
Well, we had a problem with it 2 years ago.
We've been replacing cameras. We've
Mm-hmm.
done 2 so far this year. Like every storm, a camera goes out.
How much are the cameras?
They were charging us around $400 something, I believe. And that includes the service for pretty solid. I don't think they're the same, like they can't be the same resolution as what we're getting currently in final, because I said that NPR is old, that's their. It's just. It's okay, so it can't be high megapixels like.
Mhm.
So it'll be time to look at maybe the show just,
Okay,
I'll have to talk to Michael about that.
yeah,
But the way we got things today, that, yeah, it's 1750 for that 402. Let me change that. And then we have telephone. They keep adding telephones to our first net. Talking to the JPs, they're gonna require county cell service.
Okay.
Especially with Beyond. Cause they're not gonna have in-car radios, so they're gonna
Right.
use their radio communications. So I added into that. One thing we talked about with cell phones, Susan's gonna require 20 hotspots. She's gonna talk to you about that later. That's gonna be out for elections budget. It's gonna be on our billing account, but it's gonna be a split billing account, so we can give that straight to elections, and that won't be reflected in this.
Okay.
But I think we need to add a phone for the veterans officer. We've already added 2 phones for the DA's office. And so I believe that we'll get
Okay.
additional phones for the next year.
I have a phone you can have back. I've never turned it down.
Yeah, you're gonna need that if we have an emergency.
Well, no, those phones will have to be on,
Yeah.
for the commissioners. You'll have the ability to be on the radio system. You'll be able to talk to your road crews, with your cell phone. And not have to keep the radio with you.
I don't have a radio in it anyways.
Well, we will when we get up and running.
We're all learning sign language right now. I'll show you one. I've been staying away.
Okay.
Sorry about that. I get serious.
Okay, so yeah, so we're going up to 81,400 on that one. EDP systems, that's the communication for the radio towers. It's that separate line item we created. I left that the same. Even though we're currently idling the other Starlinks. Skynet. We're not paying for those right now. We're only paying for the one that's in use.
Yeah.
But when we do use those, we'll need, that's where that number comes from, is for all of those
Okay.
in place. Travel, 5,000, I don't believe Ron is really, at one point, he was actually using a sheriff's office vehicle, but they took that for some other purpose, so now he's actually gonna be starting to log a lot of miles.
Okay.
So I believe we're gonna need that 5,000 this time.
I think 5,000's on training.
Yeah.
And travel's 3,
Did I have that backwards?
maybe so.
Yes, you're correct. Sorry, I had that backwards. I skipped training.
I sent an email out. It's the second. email.
Travel, I went up, it was 2,000, I went up to 3,000,
Right.
anticipating more from Ron.
Okay.
Repair and maintenance, that stays the same. Maintenance
So,
and service.
let's go back to training.
Oh,
5,000.
Yeah,
You haven't hit 5,000.
no, we haven't.
Anytime in the past.
We should. But I think if we had another person, we would have more time to do training. Right now, we don't have time to get away to do anything.
So would that be like the technology conference then, Round Rock?
We did do that this year. We all 3, Ron and I remoted, Rusty was in person. But I'm thinking more, there's some active directory training, there's some online things we need to do. More security stuff we need to do, more security stuff we need to probably subscribe to, actually pay for. That's why we have 5,000 in there. We just didn't get a way to do it this time. But if we had another person, we would do more training, yes.
Okay. All right, office equipment.
Repair and maintenance.
Budget.
Just to cover anything that breaks unexpectedly.
So far.
Well, again, nothing's been spent in that in the last,
But
I have.
what equipment,
I'm just thinking.
what office equipment is that including?
I think I included the cameras that broke with storms at the library. I think I took out of that.
I just think.
There was another item too that we took out recently. Maybe that's the library one.
Mhm.
You and I talked about it. Something.
Right.
I think we've actually used a bit more than that 6 weeks. Because this printed in probably late April.
No,
No, mid-May, got a haircut.
yeah. It's supposed to include all of April's numbers, so. Okay,
457. That's one of the main funds that has, it's the non-Savita contract services line item. And it has.
kind of give us a brief explanation of Savita.
Savita is,
The county.
county contract services that we have to keep track of separately by the state. The auditor's office explains much better than I can about what criteria it falls into that. Generally, it's any long-term contract or anything that's software for service. Kind of falls into that. There's some exceptions and there's
What is the recourse?
weird.
Budget.
You basically just go let the auditor's office decide which county goes in.
We'll usually sit down and deliberate on for a little bit and we'll figure out, okay, this, and this, and this.
Yeah.
And then I think they submit it, and sometimes they correct us, and we have to move things one to another,
Mhm.
but, like the thing we talked about earlier, that's why I said I'm 70% sure it's gonna be Savita from some other items that we've had. But, the non-contract services one has, like our malware, like antivirus.
Yeah.
Big things in it are the
The-
LGS is in this one. My big,
Is it Savita?
no, it is not Spear, that's a weird,
The non-contract.
LGS is not, but Southern is,
Mhm.
so.
I guess it has to do with the wording of the contract.
There's whatever little thing in there that changes it.
So what do you think, can I ask a question? You think when you do your budget, you budget out of fear that you're afraid you'll run out and have to come back before the court? So do you budget heavy? I'm just asking because it seems like we're just looking at, like, it's consistently right now, we're three-quarters of the way through the year, and there are a lot of people that are at 62% of their budget when they should be at 75. And I just wonder if it's a big pain if you run out, is it a big pain? Because it's my first year, is it a big pain for y'all to have to come back before the court to?
Not usually, I usually don't have to.
Right,
I
right.
usually save till the end.
That's right. That's what I'm saying, is because you're heavy on your budget, like, is it because you're afraid you'll run out?
We usually purchase really heavily for hardware at the end. We save that stuff kind of just
Okay,
in case something happens and we need.
okay,
So
Well,
we'll wait
that's-
and make our heavy purchases at the end. So it looks like we're a little off,
but
but
you're not,
it's gonna-
it's consistent with what you normally do.
Mhm.
it will.
And some of those contracts are annual contracts, like the Southern Software comes in August, September, or
Yeah.
something, or
That's a big dump all at once. I think this one's got AccuFund in it. This 457, I think AccuFund bills late. I think we started that because we went live in October. I know that data, we always paid it in September. We got a discount. I don't know if AccuFund's gonna be that way.
Mhm.
Well, we're just noticing that, that it's very consistent, there's one JP that's only spent 50% of their budget and they only have 25% of the year left. And we got many of them that judge have only, that are at 60%. That's 15% difference, variable from, so it's Mitch's question is valid, in my opinion.
These numbers reflect 7 months, so there's actually 5 months remaining in the year.
These, the numbers that are up there.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Through April.
We should be at 63, about 65% would be on par right now.
If everything get even.
Right, most all the software is an annual contract that hits at one time.
So right now, you're saying we should be, is that what you said, Brandon? We should be at 63 right now?
63, 65.
Even though
That look at your salaries, and that's how you can tell this year we spent 63% of the salaries, and that's gonna be close to what.
On that 5 months? Okay, I get it.
And that'll be for everybody, it should be around that number.
We're just here below that. Oh, that's fine. Stuff adding to 457 that I've included.
Where are the sheriff's, cameras,
Sheriff's cameras.
car cameras?
That is WatchGuard security. No, sorry. That's under. You're talking about car cameras?
Right, the $4,800 a year per camera.
That's a Sevilla, that's under 5 months. And I've got 78,810 for projected for their next year's. That's not including any new cameras.
And on 503, 590,
50359
yeah.
is Sevilla, that's
Yeah.
WatchGuard V is out of Sevilla. And I'm not 100% why. Well, I do know why, because it's a long-term contract. Those are 5-year contracts on the service.
So, I guess you'll add to that pending the sheriff's, request. Well, I know it's probably gonna get at least 5 new vehicles. I don't know if it'll be patrol vehicles, but they need cameras. We'll have to wait till tomorrow for that.
And if he's gonna increase body cameras, because we only have, I believe we have 40. Right. We haven't increased those. I guess he's still doing okay on those, because he hasn't mentioned it, but he's gonna set body cameras personnel, we may have to.
And some of the, constables have them and doesn't the DA's office too?
They do, but not for us.
Yeah, they buy their own.
Okay.
The DA has 2, right? Don't they have 2? What about the fire marshal?
Fire marshal, they bought their own.
Our
Out of
email
the budget,
licenses
or some
are out of
budget.
That's through effort, that's in this. What we said.
Is that email or is that Office 365?
Office 365.
Okay,
Yes. And
How many?
as you pointed out,
we're about 120.
had to up that a little bit because some of them.
And a lot.
Yeah. We've had to, instead of running a kiosk license, which is cheaper, we're having to go full Office 365 for some employees.
Mm-hmm.
Because we were running a Office, was it 2016? But since that's in the life, we're bringing everybody up to Office 365, but.
Okay. So how many total licenses do we have and need? Do the deputies?
Oh, yeah, I don't remember.
We have 224 employees, but that includes road hands and those people that don't have,
Right.
so about 180, you said?
So roughly 180.
Okay.
All I did here was calculate out the monthly, what we're paying now, 12, so that's where I got my
Okay,
46,551.
So-
that's another thing, if personnel is added, I have to go up on that.
so you provided us last year with a sheet that said for every new employee, or at least as every new deputy, you know, what all the requirements were on that, so.
I can
It'd probably be
probably look at
something.
that again, but I don't think it's changed much.
Yeah, if you could, what the deputy and then just an office employee, what the 2 costs are, because you've got malwarebytes and, no before, is no before based on license users?
Yes, it is. I think that's under 590.
That's about 18,000, 13.
Yes, sir. I think it's in lots. Doesn't necessarily go up
Mhm.
one user at a time. I don't know what the threshold is, I don't know where we're at. As no. Yeah. But we've been at 13,000 for the last 2 years.
No before.
So
LGS
LGS is about $80,000, $7,000 a month. LGS,
LGS is 104,
I was off.
and that's because we added, well, remember we added the 30. So that
Mhm.
includes the 30 we added.
Okay. Software solutions is about 35, 40.
Software solutions.
Southern software, I'm
Southern
sorry.
software is. And that's in 290, but that's 37, 441. 37,500. For Southern software, that's, looks like they went up a hair.
So, and how much is AccuFund?
AccuFund, that's in 447. AccuFund is 33,550.
And net data?
Net data. It's back to 5.
So that sounds like you come up with one software that can do everything.
Net data is 54,450. And that, what we have currently with them, that's the justice of the peace is 40,000 by itself. We have a jury selection package and the encryption device, which lets the JPs communicate back. We also have the RBI that's separate. That's not included in that 54,459, and it's 82,52. That's RBI in with mugshot payments.
82 what?
8,200.
Okay.
And those are all out of 5 range, so it's not out of 1.
A lot of money in software.
It is.
This year attorney's office is adding. And y'all approved that, but so the recurring article, that's 18,200, and to 12,700. For the first time.
We have these next week.
Our sign area,
Just this
we got it out of the. ARPA funds, we first got it, we got 3 years.
Mhm.
So now we have to do it for the first time, and that's in there now, so that's
Which-
15,000.
Which program?
That's sign area, it's increased
Sign,
protection.
Okay. And what about the maintenance plans for the firewalls? Where does that fall?
That is under 47, I've got $8,000 on it. It was 7,500, because of the one, the. Now, I didn't put on there if we add more hours, I don't know if we're gonna need the firewalls each one, so I didn't actually put that.
Okay. We'll talk about it.
I don't think the annual maintenance on that is much.
It's the only purpose for the other 2 towers that we put internet service on is to access the video camera. Is it necessary for a firewall?
Is it? Don't have any user access out there, it's only for us to get that through.
Right.
System.
So what I missed? Yes.
Oh, we can go back and forth. The 590's got that data, that's a big chunk. Southern. All little things, that book is in 590, that book is what we use to practice speaking. And it's gone up, it's 13,000, it was 12,000.
I remember that contract put it up, went up 2,000 a year for each year.
Check.
That book is required because of gap accounting. So
Pay $13,000.
in order to
And I just added iPod to it, so that's gonna change that 590. It's gonna be now 274 because I added iPod to it. But we're still on 457.
we're jumping all around. So
But I've had to add 457. Where I've got the 294. I need to add it to 308 because when Tom first talked to me about the guard file, we had 12,000. But now it's 18,200. And there's something else that went up with no values. Oh, there's a program called Snyder Connect, I was talking to Rusty about that they're adding. And it's gonna give intrusion detection with our Office 365. And it's $2,400 a year. I haven't got all the details about it, they just told me about it, so I put it in there. I want to get more information and maybe do a workshop to everybody what it does.
office intrusion. Define office intrusion. Office 365.
I think it let us know quicker, and we've actually had an issue a few times where email mailboxes have gotten compromised.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this would give us a quicker, we don't know exactly, we had the sales guy just kind of dropped this on me last week. Had to talk to Rusty about it and do a demo. But I'm assuming it would give us quicker notification and maybe stop some of that harm when the mailbox gets compromised. You know, a lot of two-factor comes to that, and it's a big positive.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll get more information on that. I put it in here, just to plan.
Okay.
But I do want to bring that before y'all as a workshop.
And what is malware bytes per year? About 24?
Malware bytes. I don't think it's that. 10.6.
10.6.
We'll read. Or we already know about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's called us. And that's in the workshop. And there's a lot of little things. Easy clocking, we were still paying easy clocking. Because we decided not to go at the time with active funds clocking system.
Right.
So it was easy clocking. And so it's still in there. It's 15,600.
As far as I'm concerned, we'll stick with it. We know it works.
Adobe Acrobat.
And we're not paying for the clocking software with AccuFund, correct? We're deducting
Well,
that.
down, I think that's why this year. Last year we had 37,740, this year it's 33,549, I think that maybe the.
Okay.
I need to follow up maybe with the auditor's office and see what's showing. We need to get a meeting with them.
Did we ever return the clocks?
We have not, it's just outside my door, they used to have them. They are rocks ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be acrobat, or they'll be acrobat license fees are out of 457, and that's almost 12,000, it's 11,900. Pay for Acrobat Pro, I think we have 100, I think it's 100 licenses with Acrobat Pro. We also have 3 or 4 of the video editing, what it's called, so one of the police office uses to edit videos.
Mm-hmm.
That's included in that. Mobile device management is in that one, that's what we use to. Added, I think, double that, it was 3,600, I think we need to have all the sheriff's office stuff. So that's still. Hackers that we talked about, security we talked about.
How many laptops?
I believe that was for. I'm thinking that 7,200 would at least do all patrol.
Mhm.
For 20 something. I think we covered everything, all the major stuff on that one, 7. This is fine, beyond trust is what we use to remote. We've got 3 licenses with it, it's $7,000.
And who uses that?
The 3 of us,
Okay.
what we use to remote.
All right, anything else?
Thanks. On that, 463 is the copier equipment lease, the service part of it, that's when we have. Not the equipment lease by itself, that's under 478, I'm sorry, 578. The 463 is for the copies,
Copy
I
count.
think that's another thing that splits, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I believe that's a lease, yeah. They don't call it Sabino on there, but it's something else like that. Anytime you lease equipment, you have to track it separately. And Pitney Bowes is under that 578 as well. Lease on that. Now, we've had 2.
Have you seen the new lease? That went back? Okay, I'll send it to you.
I need to just that. Those, I had 2187 monthly Pitney Bowes.
It's pretty close to that. I think it went up just a little bit, but I'll send you the contract.
What it's going to change them. Susan had a request for a copier. That I saw increase both of those lines, covered that. Small, downstairs in elections.
Mm-hmm.
Last that one is. What do you imagine?
It will still be, I believe, I did, yeah. I can go over that for you in a little bit. But I believe it's still a 35 page.
Is that not the one I got my main one or the one by the?
Yeah, all 35 page is the main,
Yes, it should. If that stands with my main one.
Yeah.
It should be fine.
I'll go over that with you,
Oh.
make sure. And at the Wills Point, tax office, they were used a copier that we had. It was our first, Rico,
Mm-hmm.
and it's been out of lease for probably 8 or 9 years. We've just been using the thunder that we had on it.
Mm-hmm.
Use that thunder we had on it.
Okay.
So I had to add one for it. Definitely are running us out.
So all the new copiers gonna be Ricos
Yes.
to the okay.
Go over the equipment. A lot of this stuff carried over to the set that we renew every year, different medical equipment. 40 PCs, 10 phones, and to say, 10 phones have to be replaced, the board added. I included 2 servers in this. Got some we need to, retire, so I added 2. And that includes one in the sheriff's office and one for us. Put on here, 12,000 for special network. We've been doing some cleanup at the sheriff's office, of course, network.
Mm-hmm.
And out of this current budget, because we had the 12,000 special network last year, so we used that for, doing some fiber runs at the sheriff's office, to get rid of some of the latency between login and, it's kind of a big building, it's a lot of electricity, so,
Mm-hmm.
Ron's come up with a plan to do fiber runs, and then we'll isolate different departments, like the admin side, we're gonna put in, and then we've already paid for that part. We're gonna put in a rack and the switches there. But we only targeted some of the worst network problems in that, the special network going forward for next year, we're gonna go through and pull all in that.
Mm-hmm.
So all the new drops, they're local, fiber run. And that'll take care of a lot of issues they were having with their speed.
Okay.
The admin office, look in. Oops, 3. Oh, that law library where they had to report. Judge Martin's wanting more feedback. But that's what that's what I've got down there, special network, just to clean up things and stuff there.
Okay.
Battery backups, network battery backups, I've got, 2 for the sheriff's office and 2 for the courthouse. One of the sheriff's office, they definitely need to replace. I've already replaced 2 over here at the courthouse. But we need to look at a couple more down there that are, that other big one. And change the batteries out, that's also included. I put 10 control laptops, that's our regular rotation. Plus adding more, I don't know if that any more this year, but you probably will. I put 10, I'd be able to go down with 5, it just depends on. If you just replace the function, you replace more than normally would replace our regular rotation because of the Windows 11 update problem.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of equipment that wasn't go away, and so we had to get more. We may be able to take that control laptop down 5. If he doesn't get any more, but he's gonna get. So. That's the same thing, and then monitors, you know. How many of the phone we replacing a year? Scanners. You're set on scanners now, right? I put 7 scanners in here.
Y'all have, I'm not saying your state series, but in
We
my,
still have one in your office.
and we're probably gonna need one for next year.
Okay.
This one's leaving the last one, gonna try to clean it and see what we can do with the like, thing, push my feet on version.
I think Karen's probably in that, were we in that?
I know Karen.
I think we could take that on fine. I'm not gonna change that. I had said. We've also got from the treasurer's office. I put 5 cameras last year, we had 14, we replaced a bunch of cameras. These are security cameras, and that's 5. Just as general replacements for here, sheriff's office, DA's office, tax office, anywhere we got cameras I want to add, I just put 5 in. Nobody's asked to add this year specifically. A lot of times they forget to ask me. But they'll say, well, we want to have cameras here, or look this better. Yeah, I put 5 in.
Some of those, you can actually get funded out of the courthouse security technology fund, right?
For this building,
Yes,
but not for everything.
right.
So we want to add one to the DA's office or add one here, and then like we talked about earlier for the library, that may be something that's gonna bring into our system.
Okay.
Through localities, or NetApp, hardware, Motorola. I just put 10 down. He hasn't asked her yet, so I can 0 that, or I could just change that back to 5.
You're talking about the vehicle cameras? Yeah,
If you think he's gonna.
it's gonna be at least 5. It's probably gonna be at least 5. I don't think it'll be 10. But
And for credit points, I still like to put credit points in bars. I didn't do that yet. Of course, I got HR's ID printer for 2,500 now. Ticket printers, I put 10 ticket printers, but if he may not need any ticket printers.
they're not using
I'm
them.
gonna 0 that.
Yeah, they're not using them.
Let's gonna bring that down to 199 on the 572. Actually.
What is a ticket printer?
It's a
Speeding
little
tickets?
brother mobile printer that prints the tickets out.
Speeding ticket?
Right, constables.
What's he not using them for? Why is he not using that?
They say they don't do traffic stops.
Just because they don't have radar, and I put radar. Are you talking about the constables or the deputies?
Constable.
Deputies, we got, I believe we have 12 in service. But they had to work out some problems with some software and got that done. So. I think they're good.
So the deputies are running
He
traffic?
hasn't had. They've got 12 installed.
When did they install? Okay.
There's somebody's doing it, over the weekend, somebody paid $4,000 worth of tickets, JP 3 and JP 4, that they paid afterward. And now I have to start checked out to the JPs because they paid off, and it was all tickets.
Which is good, because that's gonna build up that JP technology fund.
So if they don't have a ticket printer, how do they write a ticket?
Handwrite it.
Just handwrite it?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, constables, they usually have the books, but then, constable precinct 3, he's got his ticket printer now. I've got Tommy's and I talked to him about it. All he's gotta do is come by and look it up, then we can go. Same one. I don't think, and this is off topic, we're not talking about sheriff's office here, because the ones for the constables, we got out of the justice court technology fund, because that's for great things. So that's not part of this, but
And do they have funds that go to those technology
Yes.
lines that can only be used for?
Technology, correct.
it's for tickets, so it's kind of like.
Yeah.
So, filling there. So, yeah, I think that's the only ones that are needed there. So, yeah, I'll 0 that out on the. You go down to 5 on the pro map option, you think it's still only the 10.
But wait.
Last bunch though, since it go up. So.
On ticket printers, if you got new vehicles, don't you need to buy new ticket printers?
Only if they're gonna be running back.
Mhm.
His intentions of their admin vehicles or, you know, like the, command staff usually don't. It's on sheriff's attention.
The more they'll find out, huh?
I don't want to find out.
I don't want
You have to, you have to be really good.
Okay, what else? We covered it all?
I will cover it all, do we, so we can reduce, 572 to, 199.
Just, if you would, just send, me and, Nicole an email.
So if you get a part-time, is that a part-time or full-time position you're asking for?
But
Yeah,
every
either-
time he's asking
I
for
asked for.
And then they'll,
We can move.
right.
and they'll be traveling a lot, so they'll get travel pay too, right? I mean.
He upped his travel,
Well,
$5,000. Of course, he did that for Ron.
But I'm thinking that'll take away from our travel, because he's.
right.
That position will go in the same place as we.
Okay.
And we got, we didn't hit that 2,000 that I anticipated, and a lot of that is for a while, Ron was driving the, county vehicle for the sheriff's office, and then Mark got moved. And I don't know.
All right.
So make the corrections and send to you and.
Yeah. Nicole, that'd be great. Thank you so much.
Pretty impressive.
Oh, I don't know, one other.
We've already adjourned.
But wait, there's more. The what?
We have the offices, the justice court, 018-15. Y'all always budget pretty much the same amounts, it's one of those things that's got funds, but it's not, they're not always allocated. There was one spot, I turned that in, I believe. Not sure, take it. So you remember we were talking about getting some of the, panic button systems at the JPs.
Right.
Brought up to the network ones instead of the radio ones. We only had so much allocated out of those, so I was wondering if y'all would wanna bump up a few of these line items. Or more security items we could do at the JPs.
I guess what I need to do is go look at the, what the fund balance is in those accounts that we got.
When I asked Michelle 6 months ago. There was there. But not to cover. This is one of those things that you can't add to after it's set.
Right. Yeah, and it's best to go ahead since the funds can only be spent on this.
Yes.
Then it's best to go ahead and budget for all the funds that we have, even if we don't spend them.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go check and see what the fund balance is.
You want me to give you a copy of that?
Sure.
Scan it email to you?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, and that's all.
All right. All right.
Good to see you.
Casey? All right, these guys are leaving, Casey, when you got up, so you don't have to wait a minute. Yeah. They're gonna take a break. So, anybody else need to take a break?
Yes,
Anybody want water?
no, I've got one, but I need some more coffee.
Okay, we're gonna take a quick break. I will try to find your budget. Well, I should have it, so.
Oh.
Yeah. It was pretty simple.
How do you have hers listed?
It's indigent health, is, I'm in it right now. You want to, depends on which one you're.
I'm in the new one, yeah, I've
It looks like it's at, I can't read it from here, 65 or 85.
Yeah, it's, yeah, 65. 65.
65. So she's the only one that has her software in her budget, correct? Or she has more of a service than a software.
We didn't talk to them about whether that's severe or not, I'm not sure they looked at that one. That's on contract.
Right.
I assume.
Hmm.
I don't know if she's on, but
So why we got the sheriff here?
Drug in here.
Because the IT had a question about the new vehicles you have in the next year's budget. What purpose are they gonna be so he can budget for equipment? Are they gonna be patrol vehicles? Do we need cameras in? The new vehicles.
Just yes. I'll do them work, I apologize.
Okay,
The new vehicle budget that I asked to stay the same for, to phase out. Will be to phase out the 18 small Tahoes and I believe there are 20 Tahoes.
okay,
And they can be patrol vehicles.
okay.
With the exception of maybe one new CID, that should forward. So with the exception of maybe one, CID vehicle.
Okay. CID would need a radio, would need a radio or not? CID can use portables.
CID would not need a radio.
Okay,
Would they need a camera? No, sir. No.
so,
The ones you're replacing probably have 4 REs, so we would be replacing the old style camera and adding. We would need to add the 500s.
mhm,
So, yes, sir, that'd be an additional 500. But what about ticket printers? Because you deploy. I mean, you deploy, well, I think it's numbered, but I don't know, November. If there's some in the old vehicles, I don't know that answer, but they had ticket printers that just scroll through the. Yeah, because that goes with PC, or that goes with the computer, that side of that. Yes, sir. Yeah. So we would need additional ticket printers unless you need additional ticket printers for another reason. So, we will, because, not doing enough mail on personnel right now, let's see, so essentially maybe just 2 more. Ticket printers. Okay, could that be, but. Yeah. You said we have 12 now? I believe you get 12 quarters, okay, so we need, 14. So we need two extras. Not 2 extra, 2 additional ones, and you won't have an extra this on hand, have an extra one, that's up to you.
okay. And how many patrol vehicles will that be out of that 500,000? Do you know? I'm thinking radios is what I'm trying to do, and I don't know. Of course, all the 2018's got new radios in them. I didn't know if we were gonna take them out of there or if we were gonna have to buy new ones.
Oh,
Okay,
and that would be something I might do with Jeremy on the. I know that some of them don't have a radio. Let's say, oh my God, we can have. Okay, so that'd be. Right at, 5 new vehicles.
okay,
But that's, so that's gonna be 5, we just need to, because we're gonna retire the.
They want to talk about that after.
Yes.
Check those too.
And laptops, that's been, so we're gonna get those. I put down that this Rusty had, already replaced a bunch more of their laptops than all the wood. one upgrade, one. So I'll do 5 additional laptops and that's just. Maybe something wake me up. I
wasn't, I went to bed when I got home. It was-
Cause I would have been able to set them up. That's what we're gonna do. If that is that, I don't want to. What's up, Paul? No, I see that you sort of. Yes. Pull out now. Think of that way. Oh, I'm saying you. Not person. I gotta get some blood going. I said, we're like this the whole time, man. All that. Well, I mean, the personnel that, if all my personnel have computers.
Well.
Full in the side, even that. That's the.
Yes, man, yes, man.
Make it all separate.
All right, we're ready for you, Casey. You want to come up?
Yes, we got it. Oh.
Yeah, no, come on. We'll wait till he gets here, but he gets you up in the front.
Get all my stuff covered. Before I go.
I need a booster.
So. Is that all you did? Go home.
Not for this last sports meeting we had, or the special, it needs, it'd be 7-1. Is someone, I don't know, has the addendum been submitted to someone to put on there? Okay,
Sandy Randall sent it to me. I thought I sent it to you.
I think I do have it, I just didn't know that if I was the one that needs to put it on. Okay. All right, I'll do that. All right, Casey,
Okay,
would you introduce yourself to these gentlemen? Tell me what you do.
okay, so I'm Casey Harden, I'm with Indigent Healthcare, I'm over in the probation building. So if you ever wanna find me, that's where I am. And I try to stay over there as much as possible, so. Okay, you want me to?
Explain what you do, explain what indigent healthcare is.
So the state of Texas mandates that each county in the state has an indigent program to cover like jail and then residents in the county that can't afford medical care. It is capped at $30,000 per person if they come in and apply. Of course, they have to meet certain guidelines like resources, income, and the income is really low. Like for a family of one, the income has to be like under $264 a month. So it's really for people that are indigent, not. It's like for homeless.
Does that include government benefits?
It, what do you mean? What?
So if they get social security, that knocks,
All income. All.
Wow.
So it's really for people, the main people that I help are people that are trying to get on disability, that are living with family in the meantime, or just actually people in our community that can't hold a job or because of mental problems. And they come to a lot of times their family brings them to our office because they can't pay their medical care anymore. So.
Do they usually come to you before they have had medical care or after?
They come to me before because
Okay.
we don't pay bills that are already paid. So.
Okay, already incurred.
Yeah, we don't reimburse. So, a lot of the people that you do not have to be an American citizen to be on this program. But now that, they're cutting down on people that are not American citizens, we don't have very many of those people coming in our office. I do have tools where I can do background checks. In the past, I have found people that came in the office telling me they didn't have anything. And I found out one man was an insurance agent out of his home. Another man I found out this was in the past, I had one gentleman that had a family here and another family in Houston. And they didn't know about each other.
Is that a conflict of interest or?
I'm
That, that would be called, mental health issues. Is what that would be.
Yeah, so, I do background checks, I worked for the state for 14 years. And I did Medicaid and food stamps, and then I went into the aged and disabled program with the state. So I do have a background in this, and I've been doing this now for, I don't know, a long time, about 5 or 6 years, I think.
Okay.
And,
Then we have a software vendor that actually does the processing of the claims to make sure that we get the lowest possible, correct?
I guess if you're talking about prescriptions, we do have a vendor
Right.
that handles that. That's integrated prescription management.
Mm-hmm.
And when I put in, when someone gets on the program, they're limited to 3 prescriptions a month. And right now we're going through Walmart and a couple of the like family owned drugstores. And the company that we're using now, they are really tight on the money. Like
Mm-hmm.
I told them that I wanted to cap prescriptions at $200. So if they try to go in and get a prescription filled that's over 200, it's kicked out. We won't pay for it. So that makes them go for a generic drug instead of $5 drug. Like I had a call the other day from one of the drugstores telling me that a man was in there trying to get a prescription that was gonna cost $700. And I told them, no, my insurance won't even pay for a prescription that costs $700. What else? Okay, so Indigent Health Solutions is the company we go through. That is my main computer program. I enter everything into that program, and they have a lot of contracts throughout the state of Texas. And one other thing that you may not know is that the state mandates that each county provide 8% of the county tax levy to indigent healthcare. And I spend way below that.
But as I pointed out in my presentations, that comes up to be $1.3 million.
Yeah.
But we don't have that many, our county doesn't have that many people that are,
So I have always, since I've been here, my budget has been 160,000. And I want to keep it that way, because it seems to be.
for the medical.
It seems
For
to
the
be a
medical
good,
expense.
it seems to be a good number. Now, I have fallen way below that before, but I've come really close to going over it before. So, like the year that we had the tornadoes in the county,
Mm-hmm.
you know, we had, citizens that their houses fell on them, and, we had a lot of expenditure that year. But everybody's capped at 30,000.
Okay.
And 3 prescriptions a month,
My house phone.
or 30 days in the hospital. But we know that 30,000 is not gonna buy you 30 days in the
Right.
hospital, so.
Right out the gate.
And I saw that recent claim for
Yeah,
$175,000 and they paid 17
yes.
on that. That's what they adjusted it down based on.
That's what Medicaid pays, and we
Right.
pay the same rates as what Medicaid pays.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So everything's the same except for postage?
Yeah, I went up on the postage because postage went up, and I'm starting to see a lot more applications. And I'm having to send out a lot more denials, so I need more postage.
Okay. All right.
And I'll ask them on salary.
And you don't anticipate, have you gotten with the vendors, about the contracts that we have with, for the services, if they're going to be going up or?
Good about letting us know way back beforehand if they're gonna go up, but no one has.
Okay.
We're going up on rates. One vendor, the one that does our prescriptions, they were charging us, I think it was $100 a month, and they went down to $50.
Went down?
Yes,
Didn't hear that very well.
I know.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Casey. Appreciate all that you do.
It's nice to meet all y'all, and I'm in precinct 2, so that's where I live. I live precinct 2 forever.
Well, let me know if you see any problems out there that we can address.
Be careful what you ask for, Cliff.
I've been saying that at my quarterly meetings and all the rest of that stuff for the whole time I've been here. It helps us.
Okay, Karen, did you want to address anything on your budget?
Oh,
I don't mind at all.
Talking the whole time.
Yeah, don't let us interrupt you.
Scott,
Mr. Sheriff and Susan. I don't know if y'all are aware, but have I taken a look at what your reports get? Did you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I
There's your introduction.
have a book that goes back to 1986, and this has not ever changed. And if you look attached, we there's some counties back here, and it looks like everybody starts out with a 2-week vacation. I know we don't have to do exactly this. Is that a bad thing?
you just been talking all morning, like you and Scott, y'all been talking back there, I thought, y'all don't get out very much, do you?
I don't get out very much in office. So I just wanted y'all to kind of take a look at this. I know it would benefit y'all's employees too. I think it would help save employees, because it's really, it's difficult, because as you can see, the first year they get 5 days. It used to be that they could not take off for 1 year. And then, just were you here when we moved back to Chicago? No, it was not. Okay, because I've had employees that are still here that they didn't get to take vacation for that whole year. Then we moved it back to 6 months. And now, so
Or they accruing?
they're
Accruing vacation time, but not able to use it.
cannot use it.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's the policy now. You
Mhm.
can finish your 6 months. And I know that this is gonna affect the sheriff's office too, because of comp time and what they, so how does that work? Comp time have to come off first? If they have over 40 hours in their bucket and it's payroll time, they can pay anything over, that's the part.
Yeah, how many holidays do we have?
We have 14.
14.
It's 2 weeks.
That is 2 weeks.
Mhm.
That is 2 weeks. But I just wanted to bring this to y'all's attention, so I didn't know if y'all knew, and I think it would be a great benefit for the employees.
So it'd be a better benefit to, you asking to add, hours, or for the first year, or for everybody? What are you asking us to look at?
What do you
Increase
propose?
in it.
Increase in the number of,
I don't mind if we, or hear that. Things judge, somebody works here for 6 months, they're ready to take off.
Mhm.
And so they take 2 days.
I've never had a job that I got to take a vacation till after I've been there a year.
A year, it's easy.
And that's,
Because you're old.
that's to me.
We're living in a different world now.
Part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a,
It's like so now we're at 6 months.
Yeah.
So if they take 2 days, well, and then they're approving. But they only have 3 days left after the next 6 months. And then it goes into next year.
have you thought about what you would consider proposing as the updated benefit?
I mean, it is, and that's why I just wanted to bring it to y'all's attention, see if y'all.
What, and so what are you proposing?
Just to bring it to our attention.
to increase.
So-
I talked to her yesterday,
And we briefly talked about.
I wasn't in the corporate world very long, but when I was there, and this is 20 years ago, but I think it's very fair. 1 year you got 0. 2 years you got 2 weeks. 5 years, 3 weeks. 10 years, 4 weeks.
Right.
15 years, 5 weeks.
The first year's what?
0.
Zero?
You accrued, yeah, we always accrued one on the first year.
I'm not saying, but I'm just saying this when I was in football, that's all.
I just took out 25 years of corporate and we was 0 the first year. After the second year, you could take a week. And then at 3 years, you got 2 weeks. I think it's 7 years, you got 3 weeks. And it ended up at 20 years, you got 5 weeks, and that was maxed out. So we only got 5 days a year, sick days. And we couldn't have over 10 days on sick days on the book. And we could not carry any vacation over. You had to use it or you lost it.
That's another thing I had, where vacation doesn't get so much, you can roll over 5 days, 5 days.
That would be where you can roll over in,
Well, and
or two.
I don't want it to be hard on payroll and all that, you know, I mean, we wanna make it as simple as possible for people too.
Well, what, I made this proposal 2 years ago and I got shot down, so I'll just announce it to the others. What are your thoughts about, converting both vacation and sick time into personal time? You basically have the same accruals.
Because we accrue 3.08 sick hours every payday. But you're gonna allow employees to take off anytime they want to.
I guess that would be at the department head's discretion, wouldn't it?
Well, and I don't know, I mean, like, the situation I'm in, I've got 2 who've been there over 12 years. We don't have to have them sick time. We don't have to pay for vacation.
Right.
Kevin,
So that's gonna make a big difference in salary, what we have to pay them when they leave.
So they get more, right? Yeah, I understand.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's going, that goes above the money. If you combine these, you know, you got your sick time split. Well, when somebody leaves, you don't pay their sick time, you only do vacation.
They lose their sick time, accrued sick time.
I also.
But-
And then the hours sick. Remove there.
But you see, that's where I feel like the employee has worked and not taken that sick time, and they deserve it.
Well, we need some way to reward them.
Yeah, or punishing them, you know, if punishing them if they leave, I guess is what it is.
But it's just doing what you have to.
Okay.
Because I have gone over.
Well,
There's got 3 weeks on the, well, in my budget, and here I looked at official, I've got, you know, realize what they've got. in the
Right.
budget And say that I have this employee and she leaves she has 3 weeks of vacation, I can't hire anybody for 3 weeks.
Mhm.
So I've gotta make that money up, that's my budget. We
Right.
all do that, you know, so I mean, I've had to do this. Yeah, and I've had to do that.
Well, then, I mean,
I understand what you're saying, I really, do. I
Is
mean,
this on the agenda?
just give me just.
no, it's workshop. We talk about anything we want.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, no, within limits, within limits. Sorry, Mitch.
I like the shirt.
Okay, well, thank you.
I wish I was fishing somewhere.
Thank you for bringing this to our attention.
Thank you, Karen.
Oh, you even got accrual for the,
No, we don't have a proposal.
What's not, it's covered 2 weeks,
On first, after the first.
after the first
So first year, keep it at.
year, and 5 days, I'd say 5 days, what, you got 0?
I got it.
0, just coming out and just asking.
Just because I think you gotta earn it in a year, you got sick time, if you get sick, hey, I'm sick. You get
That's
sick.
14
I don't
14
think-
days.
I think.
And 14 miles ago.
Yeah, 14. And all that, yes.
Wait a minute, wait a minute.
Let's share before you go.
So like, and I agree with what you're saying. But so many times in, that I had, when I went to work somewhere, or even recently I had to hire somebody. They said, hey, look, I'll want to work for you, but just know, I had a trip planned with my family, that I've already paid for, 6 months from now. So how do you do that?
Take time off.
Yeah.
Without
You
pay.
don't get paid.
You don't get paid for that.
Cause you-
But they have to have minimum of 32 hours to keep their insurance.
What you have though is you have elected officials over all of your departments. So you have some that if they only work 39.02 hours for that week, they require them to use their vacation hours to get up to the 40. Example. Grants or SB 22. That money, if they don't work the full 86-hour cycle, they have to manually go in, sheriff's office manually go in to take off the difference in that pay, because we can't pay hours that would violate that grant. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into, same way we can dance up, all those grants. Or the grant that they, have the DA's off, I mean, there's a lot of the things that affect.
I was just going off the private sector, and of course, we know the private sector and government.
Wait,
Yeah.
So that.
that's the problem I try to remain in here, and
Because
sheriff's office is a
I don't know if I'm the only one that ran into that, or they want to hire somebody, and they're like, well, I'll get out of the work. It's summertime, I plan stuff on my annual, this week of, what if I was?
Well, then I would propose, if that's the case, you give them 1 week, starting the first year, and instead of the second year, you get 2, go to the third year, you get 2.
The first week, 1 week.
The first 2 years be 1 week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the first 2 years after that, if you're going.
Benefits.
Pardon?
So the first 2 years now is, the first year is the 1 week. Well, for some, and then the second year is 14 hours.
Yeah, but you're getting more for the year, like, for 5 years, you're getting 2 weeks, where here, you're getting 3 weeks.
Oh, that's interesting.
So you get less at the beginning, but you get more
As
as you work through. So if that was the case, I would propose 1 year, 1 week, 2 years, 1 week, 3 years, 2 weeks, 4 years, 2 weeks, 5 years, 3, 10 years, 4, 15, 5.
Wood County does 8 hours a month straight out the gate.
I think I agree with them. We gotta simplify this, just, hey, like you said, 8 hours a week or one week a year, so this 0.3, 4, 6, 5, 7, 9, 3 hours.
8 hours a month.
Simplify.
8 hours a month, you get 2.5 weeks there, and you got 14 days. Y'all are out of order.
So we ran that problem,
Where's the gavel?
a previous one. And what they did is, they said, okay, we're gonna front load you the hours. You're, as soon as day one, you're hired, here's your hours. Right, but it was in the policy that you can't take, from your own probation, you can't take more than X amount. The first 6 months after that, you take whatever you want, but you're front loading those 40 hours, if you will. For simplicity, you're on those 40 hours. Now, your sick time, you still get to accrue your sick time, but you're not front loading your sick time. You're front loading your vacation time. That way, because I mean, today's size, 10 parents or whatever, kid gets sick, so you don't have to take a day. So you're going, I agree with that. If that way, you gotta go worry about that.
You have to do something to keep your employee that only works for the first 6 months and then leaves, doesn't get paid out for the front of it.
That's something.
Yeah, there should be nothing the first 6 months.
Yeah.
I'm just using that
I agree
example.
with that. I agree.
Because, you know, somebody.
I do agree with that.
Somebody gets sick, and they're a single parent, I got. I don't know, that, I mean, maybe, but I got at least 5 single parents. So.
And your department head, there's exceptions to every rule. If you have something come up like that, you just work with them and you make it.
Absolutely, absolutely, I'm saying.
I pushed my pre-planned vacation out, and I came to work here.
So-
Yeah,
Yeah, you had to prove it. Yeah.
So I would say, I agree with you, really, I think front load, we have a specific number, not just front load. So that way you front load it, or if you decide not to front load it.
Well, the reason we have it broke out like that is for when people leave, so that, you know, we're not paying out, but so you have to do, if you're gonna do the front loaded thing, you have to do something to keep.
Having to pay it out if
All that,
they
they
leave.
don't have much people.
Well, it just have to be a statute.
You keep it just like we're doing now, you keep a limit, you can only have so much in the bank. That's why I said you can only like roll over 5 days, you can only have like,
160 hours on the first, on the
so
anniversary.
that's all you can have, is 4 weeks vacation.
And you would be surprised at the people I email as a courtesy to let them know that you are falling out. You're gonna run it.
And you can do the same thing now with days or weeks, it doesn't have to be 6 decimal places of hours.
So back to what you were stating about somebody not working 30 hours a week, a full-time person not working 30 hours a week. How does that affect their full-time status? If they go,
It's based on an average, so we have new hire average rates, and we have position change rates, and we have our initial measurement period, which is every budget cycle. So this person stays the same all the time, it's during the budget cycle. So let's use, to make it easy, let's use a part-time person. I'll send emails out sometimes that say, hey, your part-time person is a little bit over, you know, you gotta get them down, so that you don't have to make them, leave them part-time and offer them full-time employee minimums.
Right. Okay.
Is that why you're emailing me?
Now, you have your, then you have full-time people and part-time that have enough hours to be protected under FMLA, falls in a whole different ballgame.
Mhm.
Because they are protected under FMLA for 12 weeks. So even if they only have 40 hours of sick time, that 12 weeks they're covered. County can cover that medical, nothing that they have to pay out of pocket. Once that 12 weeks is over, number one, we no longer guarantee a position.
Right.
We replace the position. That's our policy. But they wouldn't be a check.
And if you have somebody that's pregnant, they can only take their vacation time and sick time, and then they're out for 6 weeks, and they've only got a week of pay, but, you know, they're required to be off six weeks.
What was the original topic?
It would help, it would help.
I'm dealing with that right now. So, I mean, myself, same salaries right now.
You know, the two things that come to my mind are that one of the reasons why folks come to work for the county is that while they may receive less hourly, they do have benefits that exceed market. And
Yeah.
so, and the second point is that it might help me if you make a proposal for what you'd like to see the vacation set up be, so that we don't run afoul of any of the grants and these things. So that would help me.
Yeah, I don't know all Greg, I just know the ones that are payroll, that funded.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
These are.
Mr. Curtis, what would you like to see with your current employee? Stay off your car?
Work, I want them to work. I mean,
I have a couple of guys on the road crew that are asking for FMLA because they're pregnant, but I don't.
okay, let's just stop. Because we could go way south of this.
So how many y'all do 410?
I do 410s on the holidays. They have to take a couple of, they get on holiday week, like next week, they'll work 3
You're not,
days.
so our holiday pay stays that we only pay for 8 hours of holiday pay.
Yeah, so they have to take 2 hours or whatever they've earned somewhere else. But I mean, like the county, like Commissioner Williams said, you know, our pay is not bad to be able to stay home, not drive to Dallas. That's, some of our guys work here because they won't work in home. They won't be home every day in the afternoon. And, you know, and then the benefits are great. I think they're really good. And then they get 14 paid, 17 paid holidays, 14 or 17, 14. That's two, that's,
One of the highest.
so that's 2 weeks.
I'm very proud of it. Taking that away is like just taking money out of pocket.
So
You don't give it, those are things you don't take back.
Yeah.
I just think that,
Should have to the federal holidays.
anyway.
So Friday's off? 10.
Yeah, it takes Friday to get over 4 days. They're out in the heat, you know, well, it's not always,
We're 5 days. 5 days, 8 hour days, 8 to 5.
Well, it's 7
7 to 4.
7 to 3:30 with the half hour lunch.
Okay.
14.
14.
5 days.
We want to
5 days.
it's tough for us on, I'm sorry, go ahead. I didn't hear this. It's hard for us in the wintertime to get that 10-hour window because of daylight saving time, but I think that's changed that.
Yeah, yes.
They talked about it, but I haven't changed yet.
So anyways, but my guy, that's a benefit to my guys too, like,
83 days off the road.
that's right. So they'll fight for it because they'll work really hard. They'll stay late. They'll come in early. They'll do whatever because they like that 3 days off. Then it puts me in a crisis sometimes when I have something come up on Friday. You know, like,
And Saturday and Sunday with the storms.
yeah, so we just, you know, I didn't change that. And another thing is like for us, which it's irrelevant to y'all, but for us, moving equipment, getting on the job and staying there for 10 hours, you can get a lot done in a 10-hour day where you're not having to set up your signs and get everybody fueled up. You're already out there and you can get a lot done. So it's more economical and we're not burning diesel on Friday, you know, so.
We can have 4 tents here, not fire electric.
No, it's gonna run all the time. You can't, it's either hot or cold in this place.
Yeah.
We are too.
I'll tell you, like, I want the best for my employees, but I don't want my employees to feel like they're entitled either. Like, it's a right to work, the state, and we offer them a lot, and if they're not happy, they're not gonna find anything like it benefit wise. Or, you know, I don't think close.
What we do, is with all the reporting that we do, we can't just rotate our people. Like we would road and bridge, no.
Well, I don't know what the solution. Get with Jessica, because you gotta go with those grants and all that
I
stuff.
don't have the grant information. I just know what.
Well, you know more than we know.
He knows.
She knows anything.
Sorry, you can ask.
And just come up with a plan and present it.
Okay,
Reasonable plan.
Oh, yeah, it's reasonable, that's my office, I mean, yeah, it's big reasonable.
Actually, we were behind all the other counties, and that's just why I just wanted to bring it to y'all's attention. I didn't even know if y'all knew what y'all's in place.
Hey, I don't think that, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that the front loading the vacation or change the vacation time, the hours that they're given would affect the grant, because you're just, instead of waiting for them to give it throughout the year, you're just giving them all at once and saying, here's how you.
Yeah, no, that is the only time that they do anything. They won't, Treasurer's office pays what's on an employee time sheet, you're supposed to leave. So if you leave yours at 84.75, then they have to go there and they take the difference out of that grant out.
So
Because they have to.
I think overall, especially that being presented is not necessarily about if it affects the grant money, it's about either, keep going back to your idea, front loading or doubling, adding to. But how does it affect the grant money, whatsoever? The counties that front load probably don't want to pay out.
No.
I'll find out. That'll be honest.
It's not been for to do, pay it off, so I always say that, that's great.
Say that again. Say that again.
If we work on a plan. Whatever, it's not saying we have, it was here, let's, policy document, which is a policy, I mean, we have, that just changed. Some places don't.
Well, we could create a policy that we didn't have to pay out the front load if they left before the 6 months.
That's right. That's right.
That's a good idea.
Create a policy that says you don't pay out at all any accrued anything.
Because we don't have. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we should come together and discuss it, we don't have any other policy.
But it's still very cheap.
So it's,
I keep going, that's the reason why about it, say, I'm 10 years after, I was at the city of Canton. After 10 years, there, they got moved. I used to.
Well, they pay,
City's house does, but I like what's done, it can pay. So if we're trying to talk about incentivizing folks.
I didn't know that.
But you can't do it. But we gotta be vocal. I say.
there would have to be some kind of cap on that, or you'd have no guys wouldn't come in.
There's no, I don't think there's a cap. Just, you know about that?
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah, that was.
Hey, look.
I said, the hours.
There might be a cap.
I think it'd be a great thing for Karen and Mr. DeVille.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to pause.
Sorry. I just for some reason got my mind.
Anything else on your?
Yeah, I think there's one. Here,
Yes, sir.
change.
Cha-ching.
Did you want to do anything on your postage since they're going up 5 cents in next month?
Yeah, I'm gonna increase that just a tad. I'm working very hard on,
You're hardly working.
hard working. We are trying to send everything back through a key file and not use postage.
Mm-hmm.
What's killing me is these passports.
We're just,
That's, that's $2 a day.
Yeah.
And I only send 7 in an envelope. And if they're expediting, that has to go into a separate envelope.
Right.
So, I mean,
I have a solution with the opinion post equipment. I just have to get it up and running.
on the,
You'll be able to.
certified mail.
Yes, yeah, you'll be able to do that from your, print out a shipping label from your desktop. And
Because, all inspections, we have to send those.
mhm,
I got with DPS, if we could email those to them.
mhm,
I'm trying to eliminate them.
Right.
Eliminate most of this. So,
but you gotta send the physical.
and then I got 30.
Mhm.
It's,
Well, look at it and see if, between the two, can
okay.
maintain it. You're at what, 8 this year so far?
Yes, sir.
8 what?
8,700 posted this year, today. So, yeah, you should be good.
And that's the jury included in that.
Mhm.
So. Depending on how many juries we're gonna have,
You know, the jury under is.
Is Karen next?
we changed it all last year.
Karen, that's it. Well, I don't have anybody else scheduled. Just one of the road and bridge going to go.
Gosh, they're doing passports.
Okay,
About the income pictures. Need income. Then get precinct 1 roads, that's all it was.
That's right. You got that right.
As of
We understand.
yesterday, we had brought in $23,445. So.
that's what revenue.
So as at the end of the year, we bring in like 26,000.
Mhm.
Where's all these people going?
How many passports is that, Karen?
Like 70, 50, $70. Well, you got the expedited ones too. You got.
23,000. That's almost enough to do a mile seal coating.
And then you charge $15 for.
$35 per application.
How much?
$35.
And then if it's expedited, it gets much more expensive, right? It's over 100.
I mean, the county only gets $35.
Oh, okay.
And then we talked about doing pictures.
And how much money did you make? How much money did you make?
Right, as of today, it's $23,445. Divide that by 35.
Done 670 passports.
So,
And Karen, I'll talk, see if I'm correct, CVS charges $10 per picture,
16.
$16 per picture. If we charge $20 per picture, because I paid $4 to go down to CVS and come back, $20 per picture times 700 or 600, say 700, make it,
14,000.
that's $14,000 extra income to this. I mean, it's extra income. Like, you go somewhere,
We could front load the sheriff's.
And all we gotta do is put a whiteboard with no, and buy the equipment, I think, what was. Plug outside,
It'd be about $1,000.
is that for the camera?
That's the camera, that's the printer, it's all one inclusive.
I like it.
I think it's no brainer investment, that's it.
What about-
That's scared if it's gonna be me.
What about ink and paper?
That's separate. I don't know, I didn't look.
One of us that you included paper off that, but.
Right, for the first, I don't know when it lasts.
Yeah.
We have to see what they're referring to that.
Where are you going?
And I
That's
think
always
that's
fun.
much cheaper in the church. It was one that Kaufman County uses.
Right.
Is it in there?
A lot more low maintenance than what I think he found on Amazon.
Okay.
And it's a lot easier, and it cuts the big, you know.
And we're looking at a lot of these. Aren't we looking at a lot of passports at Kaufman County too?
Pardon me?
Did you say that a lot of people go to Kaufman County to get the passports?
Oh, yeah, she does a really good job.
They do.
Oh, we need to get in that business.
But that may not be all from Van Zandt County, is it?
No, but some go there
Yeah.
because.
Yeah, like she's getting a lot of the Dallas and Rockwall traffic. She and I are the only counties that do not require an appointment. You can walk in at any time and get a passport. They don't require you to have an appointment. All the other counties do.
Except we got hours for it.
Yeah.
That was on the when you sent, did you send?
And it wouldn't require.
The person, $147.
I'm talking for two employees.
Paper.
If you start doing $100 days, you'll be having to have somebody.
Well, if they do 100 a day, then we'll pay for another employee.
Just we can do it.
And where a lot of ours come from is, the district clerk no longer does them on Mondays and Mondays and Fridays. So we're getting those people over here. So,
They're driving in from down.
yeah, they are, they come from Tyler, they come from.
On Mondays.
Yeah.
Need to advertise that, don't we?
That's $150 per roll.
It's 147,
so basically you're like $1 per.
I will see advertising it.
Material costs.
Is that including ink or just paper?
Just
Paper package.
Okay.
I'm thinking about it.
Are you really?
I think it's a good idea. I think it's a good, and
You know, we need to have a workshop for all the elected officials, because I would tell these folks to take the related.
where they can cut. I thought that's what this is.
No, you're the only one cutting.
Cut it up.
But, okay, so we do $20, you have time to there 20 times. 20 times, say 500, if we just got 500.
That's 10,000.
Okay.
She's a clerk.
So that's clerk on standard. I'll do anything to bring in revenue.
Well, did you say it's for the material to do it, $1 per picture? So if we charge you
Photos per passport?
We only need one passport photo.
This is the last one.
Okay.
So you make making $19.
well, by the time you gotta figure your employee, all the time doing it, but still, that's not a couple of minutes maybe.
That's already said.
They want in 15 minutes.
15 minutes, so
My deal is,
you
we
might.
have a court set to right next to our office. You know, because of law, we have to see the child. That they belong to that, you know, and it gets noisy, it really does, and then,
We got a plan for that.
we go open up there.
We still get a plan for that.
What's the plan? And then finding a spot to take a picture on. So,
You can go in Scott's office.
The sheriff's department takes a lot of pictures.
Sure do.
You can find a spot somewhere.
Yeah, just move my desk out there and use the wall behind.
HR.
yeah. take charge of
The
all.
background.
I could put it like that. We may have put a partition like a shower curtain up or something.
So.
That's a good idea, Brandon. I agree with you.
All right.
Period. That might be your idea. I
Do
don't
you have
think-
anything else, Aaron?
That's correct.
Does Brandon have that desk?
I'll work on it.
Yeah.
30, but.
Yeah, early, 11, 6:30.
Okay,
And you're talking, I'll,
okay.
Yes, you can get it, figure it out.
Oh, we got time.
It's just.
So that guy told me he would do that presentation anytime, just give him 2 days notice. You want to do it Thursday? Right after we have court here? After this? It won't take him very long. Yeah, it won't take him very long. He just tell you about Danny Ayers, just tell you about the aquifer, how it works.
Do we have to post workshops this month?
Uh,
But he just wouldn't do anything on his workshops.
on these, but we got, Thursday. It's only set from 9 to noon, and we've got people booked. So
That's what I'm saying, just like right at the end of it or something.
if you want, yeah, we could do them at 11:30 Thursday.
Yeah, I'll call him.
11:30.
Do we have a whiteboard in here anywhere? Okay.
I have a panel board.
Oh, there's one in there, right? Okay.
Yeah. We can use.
So we can do it Thursday?
At
We're
11:30.
not deciding anything Thursday, we'll just.
No, I didn't know if we had to do that window.
That's gonna be, I can say it's part of my water and soil conservation, but.
Front load it, just front load it. I'm not signing anything.
Please, I'll give you my pen.
What is it?
There's a little chart for that, 200 match. Do you need?
Okay.
I didn't know. if y'all-
I assume we're done with
What do you want me to do with it?
your budget.
Oh. I'm for you, I'm not against it.
You are for me?
No,
You are?
no, I like it.
I like you too.
You've been here a long time. I obviously know your way around the house.
Judge, I didn't know if y'all had seen that chart. I had that in my stuff, and so it just.
Thank you.
This is just one thing.
If I'm gonna have to do passports and pictures and all that, I'd like to see the 200 and the 200 match.
I don't know what this is. You can have it.
Give them this, take them off.
Yeah, I think it's nice to look at.
Give them off. Yeah, nothing to do.
So as far as the passport printer, that is, Scott will put that in his budget, correct? Office
This year.
supply.
I have
Okay.
a bunch of them. I have not
Oh.
purchased my.
Okay.
Tree envelopes in my office envelopes. So I think I'll be good
Okay,
to purchase that now.
all right.
Good grief.
Thousands.
A lot of information came through here this morning.
All right.
Yes. And also, if they 19.
Kind of weed through what you're supposed to keep. Is this is Karen? No. What is this?
All right, we're ready to go to precinct 3. Commissioner Phillips is going to give us, his thoughts.
Can do start on the employees, or do I start?
So wherever you want.
Personnel cost of the
My
budget.
personnel. I've got 8 employees,
Full time.
full-time employees. And I have 1 seasonal right now. And I would like to ask for 2 more employees. I haven't put a pencil to it, so I don't know how much that would be. But that's, I'm asking for that.
Got 8 right now.
Yeah, I got 8 right now. I'm asking for 2 more.
How much is that a year, Jessica?
Gonna be about $140,000.
An employer or for 2 of them?
Take 45,000 times 2, that's 90, and you take their insurance and all that, I think it's 120,000.
Yeah, I would guess that would be pretty close. What do you say? So,
For every dollar of salary you add, there's 17 cents in benefits you need to add.
17 cents?
Yeah. So 45,000 times 1.17,
17 cents.
17 cents. you got 7% retirement, you got 7% FICA, and, got,
Point 117, yeah, it's not.
unemployment and something else.
7650
7650,
at a $45,000 salary. So you're looking at, what's it, 52, 50, 52, 60, that's
On 405
105,000
for two.
on two employees. At
no,
45,000.
that's at 45, and we do increase that, that's gonna be more,
Yeah.
unless you want to recommend it that, right?
Yeah.
And,
We'll try to move as cheap as we can, but I mean, I'm still gonna get good people too.
right,
You know.
I don't have any more to give you.
How many employees you got, Mitch?
I don't know. It looks, I can't count them all in the morning.
he's got 10, I believe.
You got 10?
Actually, I think I have 2 full-time spots open right
Yeah, you
now.
got 10. You got 10?
Jessica, I had 10 full-time, right?
I don't think so.
Vince, you got 2 openings.
How many, so I got 10 openings then?
Yeah, 2 openings.
2 positions?
Here,
Yeah, I know he had 10, I know that.
I got the salary spreadsheet, let me
I had
pull it
10.
up.
Yep.
Last year, Brandon, no.
Yeah, I did one last week.
I had 10.
Yeah.
What am I so?
Well, you're gonna be full. 9 full-time and 1 part-time.
But my part-time is moving to full-time.
No, you have secretary part-time.
Oh. I got 9 full-time, 1 seasonal.
So we can budget whatever we want to?
But you're moving one of your part-times up to full-time.
All right, this is from the salary budget from last year. And Road Bridge 1 has a total of 10 employees. Road Bridge 2 has a total of 9 employees. Road Bridge 3, the total of 9 employees, and Road Bridge 4 is 9 employees. That's not including the commissioner, correct? That's what was budgeted for. And then it doesn't include any part-time position. The part-time is calculated as a dollar figure, not an individual.
So you got 9 now, Bob? 2. 1, 2. Maybe 11. I'll back it up to 1. I was used to 2, but I will back it up to 1.
I'm gonna send y'all the spreadsheet because I need y'all to update the names for me.
We're supposed to know the name.
You don't have to. Just put dude in there if you don't know the name.
I can directly my spreadsheet.
That would be great.
If the spot is highlighted in yellow, because they're open.
That's why I said this morning.
Yes, all right.
My office supplies stayed the same. Yesterday after our meeting and talking about the tax bill on my fuel,
Mhm.
I pulled the gallons I've used already this year. And we're going into the busy part. I know we only got 25% of our year left, but I still think that my fuel amount's gonna double what I've already used. And then I subtracted the 20 cents off of it, and that saves me on mine, $8,200. I have $100,000, which was last year budgeted for that. If we're getting that off, you know, I could drop it probably to 92
Okay.
instead of 100. And then my material. You see, it was, you can't see it, but it was $1,448,000. $48,433. And I'm asking for $2 million. No comments?
Don't hurt to ask.
Yeah.
What else you want? What else you want down there, Bobby?
Do what?
What else you want down there?
We're not through. Then moving on to the uniforms, 4,500, I stayed in that. Then, shop supplies and tools, I've got 17,000. And I do have a mechanic here. And my tools are really nothing. He has very little food. We bought quite a few this year. And, I'm planning on adding to that for him. Contract services, $199,456. What is that?
Trees.
For seal coat, tree removals if I have to, whatever, you know what it is.
It just delineates between material, like a lot of people pull that out of the material budget, but it delineates, it breaks it down so people can see what you're.
Right. So as you keep your road, and bridge materials, through road and bridge materials and not service.
Right. And then, I left my train at 4,200. Electricity is 4,500. We don't have gas. Water's at 800.
I'd beg to differ.
We don't have fuel. You got it all correct.
Sorry.
Repair and maintenance machinery, trucks. We've got 98,000. We got a bunch of old trucks. I haven't used but 50% of that this year. I left it the same, but I guess I could.
Most of that's on the grade off too, right? You won't have any.
Well, not, well, because I've got one reclaiming too.
Mhm.
And we're steadily working on it too. And I just found out this morning that one of them starts at 600,000. So we don't buy one of them now.
Mhm.
So I'm not gonna leave that at the 98.
Mhm.
You know, tires and tubes. I got it 18,000, spent 12,000 this year. To be honest with you, I'm scared to cut that back in. It's a possibility that we could, but I'm scared to. Radio repair, 1,000. I don't think where we're gonna have radio repair. So I don't know why it was in there anyway. I haven't spent any of it. But I mean, with the new radios, we're not gonna have a repair.
No,
So I can cut that.
you can't.
Yeah, you never spent any. No, that's what I'm saying. So we could cut that out. So I'm gonna mark that out. I'll do something to do that. Machinery rental. We've got it at 10,800. I have actually spent 5,700 this year of it. Renting an excavator for putting some codes in because of the lack of my excavator. I wish I had an excavator in places. Could we get one here?
Yeah.
But I think I'd like.
What would it cost to rent a reclaimer?
Well, I don't know about a reclaimer, but I checked on a grade off, and it was $9,800 a month. To rent.
Mhm.
It'll be about that.
I figured it's that, might be a little more. So, I mean, at 10-8, we're just looking at 1 month.
Right.
You know, rent. So I think I'd like to leave that there.
Sure.
How'd you end up with 2 reclaimers?
It was there on film. One of them. Yeah, you want something for
You sell it?
No, I didn't. No, it's new. If we ever sell it, it goes to precinct 4, but I'll let Phil use it.
Okay. So it's operational then?
Yes, it's precinct 4's maintainer, but we.
Reclaimer.
But
They're working on it.
we gave it to,
Okay.
They're working
I
on
think
it.
it's we got precinct
So
3,
you can get it
borrowing
fixed.
on the long term.
If you can get it fixed, then you know, come get it, right?
we ever sell it, I get the money.
I'm not, they might be in the trees somewhere.
I'll buy it from you today.
No, you won't.
Uh,
So the radio for all that's, appraiser district, that's something we have to.
That is, yeah, that is for your road tax that, they collect for you, so that is a portion of what we pay to help them operate. It's contractually, required.
Dues and subscriptions, 600, it was 578 now. Just rounded it up, 400. That's 50 cents.
Now, you mail on checks, I don't think you have to get bonded every year, you just get bonded when you get in office.
Yeah, because it's got zeroed out on the other years.
Yeah. I think it's just courtesy, you may be able to throw that out, yeah. Ask Christie, Christie can tell you.
Yeah, pay for your bond every year, don't you?
You do.
Okay. How come they didn't last year?
23 and 24, they didn't.
23 and 24, so zero.
Y'all do, y'all renew every year, but I don't think elected officials, the clerks do,
I don't do every year, mine's.
What are we bonded for?
I'm gonna go ask.
Mine's 400, but, oh, actually it's 355. What is this year?
Ms. Christie, we have a technical question from the council for me. The question is.
Yeah, I'm doing, and I have a baby.
Every year for all employees or just,
Yeah, 4 years. Each commissioner, 4 years for the
And you're a sucker.
You know, because Aaron's an omission, I think, say, well, I'm not paying. Well, my bonds every year, I mean, I have to pay my bond every year, but that's gonna be for Harris and.
For people, that collect money, it's
Yeah.
annually.
That's right.
Yeah.
So-
for your companies.
Yes, and then I got, yes. And then I-
Commissioners is every 4 years, correct?
So we can wipe that out.
You can wipe that out.
Okay. Susan has a blanket
Well,
bond.
I do, on my employees, they wouldn't allow me to do that.
But Brandon and Pepper need to put
Your turn.
bond in there.
Yeah.
Cover 2 years,
I
cover 4 years. But I only do those every
Okay, they'll just move it from somewhere else,
This
then it's a minuscule amount.
Okay, so I wiped it 400 out.
Okay,
Only bond
Can't
is
hurry up.
city commissioners, not,
Miscellaneous
not
expenditures.
their employees.
Hey, Scott.
I
okay.
don't really know what that's all for, but I've got $4,965 in there, spent 2,637.
Kaufman County just, in their budget this year, eliminated miscellaneous from all departments.
That's the way I
Yeah,
do it.
they, I know.
Put it under contract service.
It's just things you can't classify, it's just like on my budget, I use the miscellaneous for the, town hall meetings, the ads, the equipment rental, the
They would
facility.
just,
So you need a public relation.
Well, yeah.
well, you just add town halls and you'd add in the number.
Right.
That's,
Well,
I've been part of budget.
I asked for a copy of our general ledger and I got one, and it was 101 pages long. And, so I don't believe in adding more account numbers just from small amounts, it'll be under, if it's under $5,000, I don't really feel like it has to be, but you still, you have to have, specific accounts to, account for it. But you can always go in and print out a detailed transaction on that miscellaneous account to see what was spent in that account. So. Anyway. So you can leave it if you want, or if you
I'll
don't,
leave it mine.
I just,
yeah. And a lot of people, I would say over half of the elected officials end up moving money out of miscellaneous to cover other accounts to go over budget. So.
and I might have done that because it's showing us 2,600.
Okay.
Keegan probably moved it.
Right, then the capital outlay of it,
Right.
I'm new, I'm not aware of what that's really.
You let the auditors department fill those numbers out. Well, I say for your payments, equipment payments is there, but, I guess you're saying you're gonna spend another $50,000 on equipment.
Well, that's what was there for this year.
Okay.
And I haven't put in yet.
Mhm.
But,
What can you buy for $50,000?
no, not much.
Well, 578 is capital outlays lease equipment. But capital outlay
But-
others,
Let me, just hold off, I'll get to that in just a little bit. But that capital outlay is 50,000, I just left it 50,000.
Okay.
Now, I could possibly change that if, down some or whatever. But then on my equipment purchases, I had 125,000 in there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I
This
had
year.
for this year. So I have moved, I'm moving that 125,000 down to
Equipment payment.
equipment payment.
All right.
Well, I just found out yesterday that my payment's not what I thought it was gonna be. It's about 10,000 less. It's 94,000.
Mm-hmm.
So what I was gonna do was I was gonna move, instead of moving all of that down there, I was gonna move 100,000 of it down there. And leave 25 up in the purchase.
Okay, can I make a suggestion for you?
Yes, sir.
I added this up. And you got 2.4 million from the top part.
Right.
And then you add the 50 and 100, I mean 50 and 1,000, 125,000, and then 35,000. You're at 2.7 million.
Mm-hmm.
Your budget last year was 2.9.
Right.
You haven't spent anything on this capital outlay. You take that capital outlay right there, and you're talking about what's in employees.
Mm-hmm.
You have to spend it, take that money for your employees.
Wait a minute, how can it be 2.7 million when they added 600,000 to the materials?
That's a good question, because I thought the same thing, I was like, how's it lower? And if Bobby's math is right, it's got 2.4 million right there, 2.491, 724.10. And then you add these numbers right here, well, that number comes out to 2.7. That's not. He doesn't have the, he doesn't have the salary, that's one. That's one. His total budget for just materials and equipment is 2.7. His total budget last year with salaries was 2.9. So you gotta add whatever, you gotta add, $782,000 to that.
That's still gonna shake us.
Plus 782. Well,
what are they doing here?
3.48.
What you know?
3.48.
Yeah.
So I'm raising, basically what I'm doing is raising the 106.
You're raising it by 700,000.
That's not including
That's not
personnel.
including, that's not including 2 new employees.
And all that comes in pretty much in the material.
Yeah, you're out of your 3.4. You're at 1.4, 4.5, 1.825. That it's
And then what is y'all's? We're still talking about that, but I like one more little thing, the contingency, what is, I mean, I'm showing 35,000.
You need more than that, brother.
You just, that's the money that if you need them, if you got a need for road, you can move it up to there. If you got a need for equipment, you can move it up to there. It's usually kept there until the end of the year when you see where you're falling.
It's like, oh man, I'm over budget about $2,000 for material. I gotta get some money somewhere. You take some.
Okay.
Reserve.
Okay, my next question is. And I've never got a complete or satisfying answer to me. do we need to be looking at our fund balance from last year to put back in, or where does it come?
Yeah, I can't help you.
That's very confusing. I went down there and got mine, I
You're-
got my fund balance and they said it may not be accurate.
Not sure, hey, this year. What you're not gonna spend, say you don't spend $200,000, it goes into that fund. Now that fund is at a certain amount. And say that 10% tax is $2 million. And we say your portion is hypothetically, and you budgeted 2.4 million. You're gonna be taking 400,000 out of that reserve, your reserve, into your budget. So that's gonna deplete over here, but you put it into here, if you use it, you know, this over here is gonna start going down. So you gotta kind of be careful, you want something in there.
I don't have much in there now, so I better move that along.
So I can probably find your, the fund balance at the beginning of the year.
Well, the only thing I've come up with on that is I had about 70,000 in my fund balance.
And normally, I mean, the past two budgets being you've done, had it right here.
Yeah.
But
And as far as I remember, it's usually $200,000 to $300,000 for every precinct.
except for two, they had like, so, yeah, they're rich over there.
Well, all I could find out is I had about
Slide that down.
70,000.
Well, virtual is very prudent.
Yes,
What he,
very good.
what he did and
Yeah, too
used.
much in there, it's trying to spend it.
No, well, there's not such thing as too much. We have,
It depends on what condition your roads are in.
Yeah.
thank you.
If you, you know, don't you think? I mean,
We're, yeah,
I'm sorry.
we're doing it.
So what you're handing me here is that I've got 2 million in fund, or 284,000 in fund balance?
We're overlaying some roads over the next 3 weeks and,
Let's look at you.
yeah, it'll take some. Like 20 trucks, you know.
That's a lot. That's 2,500, that's $50,000.
So if we have $2 million,
So we're.
Wait, this is from 22 and 24.
We're overlaying Kaufman County, Old Kaufman Road.
and you want a budget,
So,
you can't budget over 291,000. Because you have no way to budget.
So when he asked for that extra $600,000 for the road and bridge, will it come out of that fund balance?
Yeah, he doesn't have enough.
So we have to invent it. somewhere.
They grow
those
trees.
are. Yeah, so 25.
Yours is 753, I think.
That's as of now.
Without an outside audit, that's what they've got, but they
And
don't.
that's actually savings. That is.
Okay.
So,
I can ask for it till we get the correct numbers and then.
Yeah, we gotta find out how much that 10% road tax.
Well, Here's the deal, if you've only budgeted X amount for road and bridge material, you spend it all. You can't pull out of your fund balance to spend more unless you move something up into the road.
That's what I was telling him, was say hypothetically, his budget with the 10% tax is $2 million.
Mhm.
The most he can go is $2,295,000.
But
we don't know what
and
it
that's
is.
why in the past, all the commissioners have budgeted, $100,000 to $200,000 in contingency. Because,
So if I've got 35,000 in contingency, it would not hurt for me to budget 135,000.
well, it's gonna depend on what you actually have, because
But I can.
if you're upping your materials by $600,000, you probably can't do your contingency.
And you probably can't get your two employees.
So,
That's it, if I can get one.
Or if you can do one.
What's confusing, isn't it? They didn't teach us this in the University of Grand Saline.
All of that, think about it.
university, did you say?
Of Grand Saline, yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't do
All right,
that.
any other questions?
So this is our fund balance right here.
Yes,
What was the
294, 902. That'll be in September, right? 294.
294,
902, even.
when you get those cents.
Yeah, you got no sense. Ain't got none.
So it's got one in it.
I've got 371. Cliff has 753. And you have 71,000. 571,000.
Yeah.
Marcia.
Go.
All right, anything else on you guys? All right, well, I'm gonna start a list of the requested new employees, salary changes or things like that. That's gonna be separate from what we've already talked about on the 3, 4, and 5% budget amendment or budget increases. And so we can we keep a running total, and then one of the, probably the 28th or 29th, when we have a budget workshop, we go yay or nay.
Is there any way to find out?
That's all we do. When do you expect those numbers to be?
They're supposed, the 25th, they're supposed to give us what the final taxable values are for the properties and the new property and stuff like that, but they will not have the no new revenue rate until, or the rates will not be done until the 25th, like the 30th of July, 5 days later. So it,
That's when the.
we have to prove, it goes back to the stuff that I had on the pull it up here a minute. Oh, we're done with this, I'm gonna go ahead and
30th.
Let's see. Jessica, is there any way that we can, like, I'm sure there is a way. Like if we went up to that from 175 to 2 on matching, can you tell us you can tell us exactly what?
And Sandy did that last year. You got his numbers, just to the numbers person.
So that came up last year too? That's the same stuff?
2 years ago. Joe Carter brought it up. He had the request.
We had Roxanne Aldridge zoom in and gave a presentation to DCURS.
Okay. So my recollection was about $250,000
A year?
and we talked about not making it retro back
Not.
to everybody, because that was significantly more.
If you were an employee, well, we're not gonna know this, the numbers come in. But I'm thinking if I'm an employee, I'd rather have the $2 max to the raise. If we can't do both, because I don't think we're gonna be able to do both.
I got shit on the roll.
I thought we had talked about having to tighten up.
Yeah.
I thought we said about tightening up,
Yeah.
pay for things that we gotta pay for. I mean, like, I thought we were supposed to all be tightening up.
Well, as I said, we don't know anything until that money comes in.
What we're doing right now is putting everything out there that people want. And now the hard thing would be, okay, this is how much we have to spend. What are we gonna do?
So what was Bobby's total final increase in your budget?
I think about $4 billion.
I mean, the total over next year, 4 billion, is that what you said?
Yeah.
800,000.
I was off a little bit.
Without the employees.
800,000 without employees?
Yeah, I kind of agree.
It's gonna be 800,
907,000 for two employees.
but you said you'd switch it down.
Switch to 860,000 one employee.
So indigent health was about 3. And ITs was up. IT was up a whole bunch, wasn't it?
You gotta remember, they're all up. The two that I've been, they're all up. And we're way over budget. And then those days in August, you just fight it, and fight it, and fight it, get it down to where it needs to be. But you gotta know the number before you can do anything.
Yeah.
These are all ones. When we get it down to needs.
So we're in a workshop right now, right?
Correct.
What constitutes a want that needs to is citizen opinion between two people.
Are you adjourning?
Just a minute, I want to show you. And I don't know how I do this with Zoom going on at the same time. But we'll see. Because it's always tricky doing PowerPoint and Zoom.
This is not gonna be hard. You can walk the bell out.
What?
Oh, it's true.
It's easier just to do this. Won't be sharing it, but I just come on.
Are these recorded?
Yes. Yeah, they're all recorded. So here it is where we do the proposed salary increases on 7/30. And actually, the appraisal district certifies the appraisal that certified, but they don't, as far as the values of the taxable property. But they don't actually give us all the calculations for the rates. So we're gonna, based on the certified rolls and our projections, we can go through, Sandy would do this. She would actually make the projections, she would put numbers in, figure it out, what it should be, could be, and then. It didn't. Well, we know it increased for the new property. Okay, we got, that's roughly $840,000 on at a current tax rate. But you got frozen property went up, the marketable value went down, but the taxable value went up. So it's all over the map. It's all over the map, and I just don't know how to calculate that. So, but they provide the tax rates on the 30th. So we will have another meeting, probably another workshop sometime 1st of August, just to kind of set the things that we got. We've got to have a public hearing on the proposed budget. That's the hearing where we say, are we going to accept it, reject it, or modify it? And that's where we say modify. And then the proposed tax rate that we're going to do. Then we come to, not quite a month later, we have the public hearing on whatever we can come up with on our proposed tax rate and our proposed budget for the year. And this is the final. This is the one that we will be hard and fast accepting for the next fiscal year, September 10th. So please put that on your calendar and make sure that you're here.
You told us that yesterday, didn't you?
I'll tell you that
I lost that piece.
Every
It's a
day.
long, drawn out process.
Yeah. So
Where you at?
that's the schedule that we got.
That's it.
I'm mad too, Eddie.
All right, anything else? If not, I will call us in an adjournment at 11:36. We will see you in the morning, and I put out a workshop schedule in your email, and hopefully we'll have more sign up. The sheriff will be first, and then we will have for an hour, and then we have the JP4 and youth version. And at some point in time, we got to have county clerk. It's got to be put in here. So anyway, thank you so much for your participation. Do what? Yeah, so there's all his. We didn't discuss that, but I'm assuming he did because
Sometimes I split it down.
That calendar that you had, talking about the August dates, et cetera.
yes,
Can you send that?
yes, I will export that.
I'm gonna lose my vacation.
I'd like to.
To a document
Yeah, I'd like to put that in my
calendar.
calendar. Yeah. I got the 10th of September on there.